In this video, we'll discuss and demonstrate some of the common faults made when starting out with the step vault. Fault number one is steepled fingers, so raised fingers like this. So this happens if you cannot create the correct body structure to create enough space underneath yourself. Unfortunately, this leaves the fingers susceptible to stubbing them and having just a little bit too much body weight on the finger tendons, not to mention overbending if they're unable to hold you up. So you don't want them bending back like this or, just stubbing it a little bit too much. This can also be an indicator of strength mobility issues. And it also means that you're going to have difficulty when you want to move on to vaulting railings and thinner obstacles. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do that on a rail, or if there was something thinner, you're not going to be able to do this. So the fix is you've got to have your hands flat and you've got to increase your hip height or work on your mobility. Fault number two is weight distribution towards the leg. Moving too much towards the leg usually means that you're feeling uncomfortable taking your body weight on the arms and the upper body. So if you go up and you're trying to do this is the problem. So the fix is start practicing on the floor and create the structure for confidence. So you want to get into that position, moving over onto your arm. You can also practice using two arms to get into the position. Do not move your feet and hands once they're placed on the wall. So essentially when you come up, place both hands on the wall. Now, once they're there, they're stuck there. Push up, place the foot on, and now you're going to bring that hand off and through. Try not to shift your weight over here. It's now going to be very difficult. Fault number three is having your feet and hands too close together. So with the foot and hand being too close, you will have to create enough space under yourself again by raising your hips far too high. Alternatively, you will have to have great mobility to do this. So if you're going up like this, to get this back leg through, you're going to have to raise up very far and then get your leg through. This is just too close together and it's going to cause you issues. In this case, spread the feet and hands out way more and make visible marks on the wall as targets. So you can pick two little things on the wall and just stick your hand there, foot on there, and you're not allowed to move them. Fault number four is space underneath you. If the space underneath you is still too small, it means that your mobility needs work or your feet and hands are still too close. So here's the fix. Spend some more time at the bottom of a squat position. Try practicing some deep lunges so you're getting really low in that position. You can do some crane positions so you're at this bottom here, or you can focus on some sideways monkey so you're going out here and across. So across here, in, out. Okay, so the whole idea is to get at that bottom position and comfortable at that bottom position. Fault number five is knee collapsing. The knee can collapse and all weight placed onto the hands because you don't want to raise your hips higher, which in turn leans them forwards, which won't feel comfortable at all. So as you're up on here, if your knee is collapsed downwards, the fix is to pull it so it's facing upwards, okay? Have the foot face forwards, knee up, get the knee pointing upwards and use both arms and leg to push the body weight higher. So from here, if the knee is down and you're in this position, put the other hand on, turn the knee so it's facing up. Mobility work will also help to open up the hips. A deep squat position and pushing your knees out will start to work this. So in the squat position, you can open up wider and start pushing those knees out. You can place one hand on. Sometimes it's hard to even realize what the problem is, so film yourself and spot the mistakes. Fault number 6 is having your foot facing outwards. So if you're on the wall and the foot is facing away like this, again, it's going to be hard to get your hips high enough. So keep the foot facing forwards, the pressure towards the ball of the foot, and just keep it stable, active, tense and contracted. Fault number 7 is having the wrong motivations. So obtaining clean and refined technique is what will help you become better when other variables are introduced. Usually speed and flow, chaining things together, different heights and variations. Create clear objectives and goals for yourself to try and benchmark your progress. Write down what you can do and what you struggle with. Identifying, highlighting and fixing those weaknesses will pay tenfold in the future. Fault number 8 is rotation. This happens when you're rotating around the arm and moving in a curve rather than going in a straight line. This means you're using the arm a little bit too much and using it as a pivot point a little bit too much. So this happens when you come up and you rotate out. This is not to say that you can't move in this way, it's just that it should come as a later variation. Nailing down the straight line should be the priority. Draw a line perpendicular to the wall on both sides with chalk or something and try to take off and land along the line. Fault number 9 is 2-foot landings. Unless the environment dictates a 2-foot landing or you're landing in a precision, you should be able to keep the momentum going in the same direction. So a 2-foot landing is going to stop any momentum. So what's the fix? It's landing 1 foot only and then stepping to the next foot, moving in a straight line. Fault number 10 is granularity. If you are unable to do the current movement, then the step between the previous version you could do and the one you're currently on is just too big. Find a midway point on the difficulty level. Take a regression step, so go backwards 1 step, then try something slightly different, and then you retry again. So that's it for this video. Try and just go out and have some fun and do some parkour. Don't worry about commenting, subscribing, or liking, or any of that stuff. Just go and try and get better at doing parkour and getting more practical and functional.